Boom. Yes, we are live. How you doing? What's up, Brian Little? Right out the gate, man. What's up? Insider in the house. What's going on, guys? Hope you're doing well. I forgot to bring. I have a little stand here, so I feel like I'm crouching over to talk. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I forgot to bring something to put this up here, but definitely don't want to do this and hold on to it. What's going on? How you doing? Happy Monday. Welcome to Podcast Influence Live. Let me know how you are feeling today on a Monday afternoon, Central Time anyway. For anybody tuning in on YouTube, say hello in the comment section. Let me know what you are up to. Stephanie, you are like our loyal YouTube follower, commenter. Shout out to Stephanie D. McKenzie of the Healing Firm. Amazing coach, somebody who I admire. I want to say my coach too. She's helped me out a lot on a lot of things. So shout out to Stephanie D. McKenzie of thehealingfirm.com. So what's going on, Stephanie? Let me know how you feeling. Let me know how you feeling this Monday. Everybody else, say hello. We are tuned in to Message Monday. This is, I think, week number 3, holding myself accountable to show up every Monday at 1 p.m. And this has been fun. I want to be honest with you. This has been really, really fun doing this live stream. I've done live stream before, but this has been something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, specifically for this group. And I'm glad that I am holding myself accountable. I'm also having people that are holding me accountable to show up every Monday at 1 p.m. to deliver this Message Monday. So I really, really do appreciate. Howdy, Facebook user. I don't see your name. Apparently, you have to give StreamYard some access for me to see your name, unless I can pull it up on my phone. But howdy. So he's like, I'm sleepy. I don't know if I should take. Darren, what's up, Darren? I see. Okay. I don't know if I should take offense to that, Stephanie. I need to hype you up in a bit. You need some coffee. Get some coffee. Speaking of coffee, I had 2 cups of coffee. And I don't know what it was, but it was like normally like 3 cups gets me on a whole different level. But 2 cups is all I needed. And I've just been like, all over the place today. I'm super hyped. So I see you, Darren. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. It's been a long time. So I want to talk to you about today's topic. But before we get to that, today's segment is sponsored by Podcast Kaboom, podinfluence.com/free video series. Go check it out. It's a course that we launched at Podcast Influence Academy. And really excited about it. We've been getting some pretty awesome feedback. We haven't really done a lot of marketing for the course, but the people that have, and that's going to change. We're really going to go heavy on marketing this course. But people who have checked out the course have really been enjoying it. It's been super helpful and been really digging the feedback. And I'm glad that it's bringing value to you. Anybody who's watching this, I know there's a couple people in here that are taking the course right now. So thank you so much for supporting Podcast Influence and Podcast Kaboom. Hopefully you're getting your Kaboom on. If you are interested in launching your podcast that blows away the competition like Kaboom, subscribe. Podcast Kaboom. There is the link right there. I'll make sure that I post it down below. And let's go ahead and get your podcast launched, y'all. Let's do it. Fabricio, good afternoon. Bon tarde. Hello from Brazil. Brazil in the house. Rio de Janeiro. Wow. We're going international, y'all. This is just not Pod Houston. We're going Pod International. Fabricio, saludos. Muito obrigado. Muito obrigado. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hopefully, you've been enjoying the YouTube channel, Podcast Influence, which, by the way, if you have not subscribed, Pod Houstoners, please subscribe to Podcast Influence for weekly content that I publish there. And I'm really excited about the stuff that's happening over there. Really, really pumped up. Love the stream. And we got a lot of things popping off with Podcast Influence Academy, the Insiders, a lot of really cool things happening right now. Good times. So let's talk about the message Monday. And let me pop this up. Boom. There you go. Nice little avatar there, Fabricio, by the way. Nice. Who's that? Who's that person? Nice hairdo. Okay, so today's message Monday. Let's talk about it. All right. Today I want to talk about is everyone is not your listener. That's the message for today. Everyone is not your listener. I had a client recently who was interested in starting a podcast. So we did a discovery session. And during that call, I asked questions to find out what the mission is, your goal, the purpose behind launching a podcast. And one of the things that when I asked this particular individual about their podcast, I asked them about, who are they going to serve? And they wanted to create a podcast that was centered around entrepreneurship, fitness, mindset, and there was another topic in there that they wanted to discuss. So like 4 things that they wanted to target and talk about. So we are working on helping this individual, really narrow down on their avatar. My school of thought is that if you don't define your avatar, you will have trouble marketing your podcast. It's imperative that you understand who you are going to be speaking to. When you turn on this microphone as a podcast host, I've said this before, it's not about you. Yes, you're starting the platform. Yes, you're passionate. I get it. But when you're trying to build an audience, it can't be about you. You have to let go of the ego, and you got to be able to create content that's going to provide value and education or information to your audience. First and foremost, that's how you build an audience. When people struggle to market their podcast, there's a lot of reasons, right? I talk about this all the time, brand, etc. But it's because they don't have, and one of them is they don't have a defined avatar. They don't know who they're speaking to. So this individual wants to cater to people that have like fitness and mindset and entrepreneurship. And there was, I think it was like culinary or like food or I forgot what it was. It was a different bucket. And I simply said, this is not going to work because it's just too much. If I'm want to listen to the podcast that for fitness and you're just dropping 2 consecutive podcast episodes on mindset or entrepreneurship, I may not be interested in that because I have another entrepreneurship podcast that I listen to that I prefer. So having that defined avatar is important in not only building an audience, but marketing your podcast. And again, creating content that will solve a real problem and bring real value to someone. And frankly, having a podcast is not about having a podcast for you and a podcast for one. This is just not about you. This is about really building an audience. And you have to keep that in mind. And one of the things that I challenge you that I want to share, and leave me in the comment section what your thoughts are and what you're feeling. I mean, a lot of you are podcasters, especially if you're in the podcast Houston community. A lot of you are content creators. And let me know if you struggle with this. If you have a defined avatar, there's an exercise that I go through with all my clients on how to break down specifics. Hold on one second. Somebody posted up this. Boom. And Thank you, Benjamin. Benjamin is a fellow insider. Andrew, yes, you should be listening to this. Plug in, man. I'm catching the replay. So it's something that, going back to the average, everyone is not your listener. Everyone is not your listener. You know, brands like Red Bull and Nike know their target audience. For example, Red Bull has a competition called BC1. It's a international breakdance competition. And I'm a big fan. Watch it all the time. But Red Bull understands their target audience. They will market that particular event to somebody who listens to primarily hip hop, somebody between the ages of 18 and 25, somebody who's into sports, somebody who listens to, again, I say hip hop and soul music, funk. And they have their own ways of targeting that specific market to bring them back into the competition, you know, as fans or as some of them as competitors, as people actually competing in that particular competition. So they know. And when you go to the event, which I've been to one of the events, you'll know like that's their market, you know, and you'll see it. And usually it's between the ages of, 18, 25, more or less. So they understand that and they do everything. And this allows them to market their product more effectively and create events that are tailored to a specific avatar, to one person. So my challenge to you as a podcaster is to get super clear, crystal clear on who you are going to speak to. Okay. Ben, you're in here, fellow insider. Ben has a podcast, and he has a podcast that's tailored for. And by the way, Ben, leave in the comment section, leave a link to your podcast, man. And you have somebody he does album reviews, but it's a specific niche that he's reviewing. So in marketing his podcast, the marketing strategy should be simple. Go where your audience is hanging out at. And Ben, and I worked with Ben before, he knows how to use hashtags in different forums and groups where he can get in the mix where people are having conversations that are within this niche that enjoy this genre of music. And he knows, and he can get in their face and say, hey, this podcast is for you. This podcast I think you'll enjoy because I'm reviewing bands that you enjoy, that we enjoy. This is for you. This is not for you, and this is for you. Now, can he market his particular podcast to an urban crowd or to a hip hop crowd? No, because it's not for them. So defining your avatar is vital, my friend. And we just have to understand who we are going to serve. And you may or may not have heard of this in regards to finding your avatar, your specific listener, but I challenge you to really define that one person who will love your podcast. When I launched my first podcast, No Permission Needed, it was tailored for creative entrepreneurs, for creative people. So creative people, they were hanging out. My people were hanging out at coffee shops and different creative entrepreneurship events. They were between the ages of 18 and 35. They were listening to podcasts. They go to blogs. They buy courses. I knew what events they go to, what magazines they purchase, what blogs they visit. And marketing the podcast was a lot easier for me because I knew where my avatar was hanging out at. And I was able to position my podcast for that particular listener. So that is my challenge to you, is define your avatar, in that everyone is not your listener. And if you feel like your podcast isn't gaining traction, I ask you to think about that question, of who is your avatar, and really think and breaking it down. Because if you don't know who that is, chances are you don't know who to market to. and that podcast won't land for everybody. And you're going to do a lot more confusion than anything else versus really saying, okay, this podcast is for this particular person and this is where they're at. And I'm going to do either target marketing or direct marketing, or just get in the conversation and go to forums and go to groups where they're hanging out at, and then introduce them and bring value and introduce them to my podcast because this podcast is for them. I mean, that's pretty, in very nutshell, very basic term, how to market your podcast. It's by really understanding that. And it's a tough pill to swallow, because a lot of the times, I remember doing this when I was a musician. Like somebody would ask me like, hey, what is your band, man? What do you guys play? And I was like, yo, we play, it's a little mix of, we play a little bit of funk, we play a little hip hop, we play a little bit of R&B, we mix in a little rock. And it was really tough to market that and share that. And people would be, their comment, their reply would always be like, oh, that sounds interesting. That's cool. It wasn't enough to entice them to bring them onto the show. Some people did. I used to get really crazy with our description. Like, yo, it sounds like the Incredible Hulk breakdancing on, steroids. And I was coming up with all these different like analogies, but that was just to kind of market the show and the music. But it was hard. It was really, really hard to promote it. So defining your avatar is important. Defining your genre, defining what you do and who you're going to serve is vital to having a successful podcast. And would love to know who you're going to serve. So let me know in the comment section, who is the person you're serving? What do they listen to? What do they like? What do they don't like? Who are you serving? Mompreneurs? Is it, creative entrepreneurs? Is it paint? Let's get even more micro niche. Is it painters? Is it musicians? Even now, indie artist is a niche. But man, what if you went like indie artists like within the hip hop genre? Now you're getting ultra niche. And again, as I like to say, and I've heard, the riches is in the niches. And the more niche you are, and I know it's kind of, it cringes to be like, I really don't want to go super niche because I really want to get to an audience. I'm like, but maybe you don't. Maybe you will probably have a higher chance of growing if you specifically specify your podcast content for a particular niche industry or tribe of people versus, just like indie artists. Well, that's indie artists for what, and I think if you went indie artists and went alternative or indie artists for hip hop, that's you're ultra niching it down. I think you have a higher chance of marketing your podcast. So Ben was talking about, there it is, greatestthinpodcast.com. Go check it out. Ben, thanks for tuning in, fellow insider in the house. And Janu, what are you laughing about, Janu? Janu ranting through life, another insider. Are you laughing at my Incredible Hulk comment or whatever I said? I don't know what I was saying. Because when I said, I was like, that didn't sound right. I didn't make no sense, right? But that's my whole point is like, if you have a podcast that's tailored and that's just for everybody, it's not going to make any sense. And it's just hard to market that. It is. It really is. I mean, I've been there and done that. I've done it with music and I've done it with podcasting. And I've seen it with clients where they're just like, I don't know what to do, and I think it takes time for your brand to evolve and get to your niche. But if you know specifically who you're speaking to, I think it's just much, much easier for you to get that out there. Hold on 1 second. Boom. Ben says fans of underground music who enjoy, in particular, stoner rock, doom, and psych. There we go, man. Dope. That's like ultra niche. That's great, man. And that is, you really don't see that. He could have called it like the all rock, podcast. But he'll have trouble marketing that. And but now he specifically knows who he's going to speak to. So he can target and go in different groups and forums to find the people that listen to stoner rock, doom, and psychedelic rock. So, Ben, thank you for sharing that. Yes, my incredible. Oh my God. I was like, what? When I said it, it was like, man, it make no sense. What the hell? I was confused, man. I was a weird little child back then. Still am though. But thank you, Junu, for laughing at me. Jesse, what up? Another insider. Jesse, learn to fish in the pond before you fish in the ocean. Jesse, the master of analogies, of metaphors. Jesse, beautiful. I love that, man. That's a quotable. I need to tweet that out. It's tweetable. Learn to fish in the pond before you fish in the ocean. Yes. Yes. I think that's something that if more podcasters really leaned in to their avatar and define their avatar early on, which they don't, it's kind of like, I want to start a podcast for everybody. It's for everybody who's struggling with relationships. It's just tough. It's tough to crack that industry just because it's so general. But if you're specific and you're like, okay, this podcast is for people who dealt with narcissistic abuse, right? That's attractive because it's a specific type of abuse, divorce after 50 or something, or dating, divorced dad or something. I'm thinking of like specific niches, but you get the idea, right? The more niche you are, the better. Like I said this before, somebody asked me, would I start an entrepreneurship podcast? And the answer is no, I would not. Not right now. It's just too general. But if I wanted to do a podcast that's more niche, I can, I could find, more of a creative entrepreneurship niche that I can angle. That would be a lot more attractive to my specific avatar because there's just so many podcasts out there right now. I think everybody's vying for attention. And I think the more niche you are, again, the better chance you have of growing that audience. So, this says niche. Dude, yes, man. And that's why I'm excited about your podcast, bro, because you're definitely niched. And it's just a matter of, you getting in front of those people that really dig the type of music that you get to. And we got to talk about that, man. Ooh, hold on 1 second. This microphone kind of started getting real static. All right. So yeah, Ben is a great example, killing it. And I'm so proud of you, man. So that is it. Let me know if you have any comments. Let me know if you agree or if you disagree. Let me know if you're struggling currently with finding your avatar. Let me know if you're launching. Also, if you're catching this on the replay, you can tag me. Let me know, who your avatar is, who the podcast is for. And just wanted to share this statement. Time to go wireless next time. Alex, what's up, bro? My boy, Sweet Cheeks in the house. I know we need to go wireless, man. Speaking of wireless, Alex, I know Alex is a great friend of mine. Known him for a long time, and he follows the YouTube channel, and he's always, he's one of those friends that you want around. He keeps it real with you all the time. And Alex, I was just investing in a wireless, the Rode. It's a Rode Wireless Go 2 for my YouTube channel because my audio has been whack on there, and it's been like that for quite some time. And real talk, just basically because I've just been too lazy, to invest in, because I've been using my iPhone for all the content, by the way. So I just haven't invested because I haven't mastered my video audio. That's a whole different animal. But now I'm actually investing in some wireless audio content or audio microphone, so I can get better at that. So yes, man, that's my boy Alex there, guys. Keeping it real. I know I've definitely got to go wireless, man. And I got to change these cables, which by the way is another big tip. If you are launching a podcast, get some extra wires because these eventually go out and you always want to make sure you have backup. Super important. Almost choked. Got to watch out for that, bro. I know, man. I got to get better at that. I feel like sometimes I fumble through my equipment sometimes. Anyhow, man, thanks for tuning in, Alex. Good to see you, brother. So I'll leave it at that, guys. I just wanted to just jump on here for the Message Monday and share that when you're launching a platform of any kind, it's important that you understand who your avatar is and go all in with that, because the more clear you are with your avatar, I think we become better content creators, period. Right? When you know who you're specifically targeting, you just create content that's tailored for them, tailored for that one listener. So define that one listener, that one diehard listener that's going to plug in consistently, weekly to your podcast. What does he or she look like? What do they listen to? Where are they hanging out at? What are they reading? What are they listening? Other podcasts listening to? What's their age? Really get down to the specifics, because that would help you create content that will serve them much better than just being general. All right. So let's get rid of the whole general type of podcast, and let's get specific and get niche down. All right. Makes sense, guys. Let me know how your Monday's going. I'm about to head out here, and it's been a crazy Monday morning, crazy in a good way. Some coaching calls. And then I was going to do this live, and I have another session in about 45 minutes. So that's what I got going on. And if you are, I got to do a little plug, Janu, this is for you, since I like to plug things. Our next masterclass is going to be Tuesday, April 13th with Ming Chen of A Shared Universe, ashareduniverse.com. Ming is a total rock star, and I'm super honored and excited to have him join us on April 13th, exclusively for our Podcast Influence Academy insiders. He will be speaking to us about how to grow your business as a podcast, grow it in, using podcasts as a business. He does live streaming and podcasting, and dude is doing some amazing. I'm jealous when I see him, because he's just podcasting, I feel like, all day, 24/7. So he's going to be dropping some gems on podcasting as a business vehicle, and I'm excited about that one. And of course, look forward to seeing all of our insiders in there joining us. And of course, if you are interested in joining Podcast Influence Academy, head over to podinfluence.com and join us. We meet up twice a month. It's group coaching, dope independent podcasters like yourself that are really trying to pro up and get educated, get connected, and learn, from the best. So super proud and excited when we drop that. Boom, Janu, hearts, boom, that was for you. So check it out. Podinfluence.com. Join Podcast Influence Academy today, and look forward to catching you on the masterclass in a couple weeks. Excited about that. All right. So gotta go, guys. Have an amazing day. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, in the Pod Houston group, and also in the Podcast Influence YouTube channel. Alex, Stephanie, shout out to you guys. Fabricio, all the way from Brazil. And anybody who catches this on the replay, drop your comments or questions, and I'll catch it later on tonight. All right, to answer them. Thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be productive. Be amazing. Keep podcasting. Let the haters hate. Your job is to get behind the mic and create. Yeah. Peace and one love.